So here I want to show a little bit more about some additional new capabilities about holding meetings. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to clone a meeting here. I have no idea what these items are. Doesn't matter. I'm going to set it for an undetermined time in the future, and I'm going to clone that meeting. It's called Town Hall 2. It really should be called something else. So let me give that a name. Town Call 3, I think. 3 new, just to make sure. Okay. And all the settings in this meeting they're all kind of made up and bogus, so don't worry about that too much. So the deal here is, who do I have as participants? I've got a lot of participants here. Let me remove some of these more questionable ones, just because I think that just gets in the way of understanding. Okay, so there I've got a set of 4 users who are participants in the meeting. And that all works. Nothing new there. What's new is when I set up the requested start time. So here I want to propose a time, and I'm going to go for 9 o'clock in the morning on the 13th. And then let's do the same thing on the 14th. And we will do the same thing on the 15th. So there's 3 possible times to go for, and we have 4 people that possibly are interested in it. So what I can then do is send email about that. So this email sent when the meeting was not scheduled. We didn't have a schedule at this point in time. And so you can sort of see what it looks like here. And I'm going to go into this time not yet determined. So what I want to do is I want to get people to respond to the meetings. So let me just go ahead and send this. And that only takes a moment. Now remember, in this email tool, I see all 4 messages that were sent out. These all went to different people. This is who they're to. So if I pick up the message from me, it's going to look like this. Now again, this meeting has not yet been scheduled. What we want to do is get people in there to select the best times for them. And so I put this in red to help call it out. Probably in your message here, you might need to call it out, but it basically very clearly, this is clearly a button. When I click on this, I come into a UI where I can now set what good times and impossible times are of the 3. So I can do that. Now, that all happened because I was logged in. Let me go to another browser. So I'm in Chrome now. I'm not logged in. And if I choose this message to Alex, so pretending that I'm Alex, but I'm not logged in. If I click on one of these, if I click on, say, that, I'm going to get a display which is going to say you need to be logged in to see this. Okay, so that's sort of the basic thing. However, if you use the button here, actually, and this one doesn't require you to be logged in. You get a little bit of information about that, and you get a little bit of information about the workspace without being logged in. The meeting, though, you don't get any information if you're logged in. But if you do choose the select the best times, I now still have the options here to specify for me. Now, one of the things is that the very first time the user hits this, it's I'm gonna save this address. The very first time they hit it, the browser is not set up yet, and so they'll get something that says like this: okay, verify, enter your email address, and then once you do that, you get this display, and that remains saved with the browser, so they never have to enter that again, but they will have access to this functionality. Now, my options going forward is to log in here, but I'm going to go back and do some other stuff first. Let me go to the other browser again. Here I am back in Mozilla, and I'm going to go to Town Hall because I am logged in here. So I am now getting and I don't know why this image doesn't show up, but I'll focus on that later. We see the results, of course, that have come in so far, and let's just say, okay, I'm going to go ahead and pick this. All right, so now I'm going to set the meeting to that time. So now it's set, it's shown here in blue, it appears up here as a date and time. But of course, this might happen before or after people hit a particular message. So let's go back to the mailbox here, and I'll choose the mail that came to me. Now it says time not yet determined, but if I click here, I get a slightly different display. It says, here's the date and time of the meeting, and do you expect to attend? So I can say, yes, and I will be there for sure, okay, and save it. Okay, so now that's entered in there. Let's of course go to the meeting. We'll see what that changed under the participants. Here you have this expected and situation, and this was filled in for me here. All right, notice that nothing is filled in for Alex, but let's go back to the other browser and take a look at that. So we go back to the mailbox here. Alex chooses his message that says select best time. And again, he'll hit there. It doesn't select the time because the slime's already been selected, but I can now say maybe depends on surf quality. All right. So now he's in there, and I'll go back to the other browser and I'll just refresh here, and we'll now see that that's entered in there. Now, if I try to send a message at this point, the message will appear a little bit different. I might want to, it doesn't matter if I put this into planning stage, but once you've picked the time, you kind of want to put it into planning stage. Let's send an email message. So now, after scheduling, and of course, let's just save and see what this looks like. So now it looks a little bit different. Now instead of that, it's not scheduled in red. It now just says, this is the time. Can you confirm your attendance? So, I mean, the button here is an attempt to stand out and say, what you really should be doing is confirming your attendance. Let me go ahead and send that off. And it's scheduled here. It automatically set the topic to include the time, before it was to be determined. So let's go back to email. It has not come in. I'll pause for a moment. All right, so now it's come in with a particular time. I go to the message that I would have gotten here, and again, I get this, please confirm attendance, and that's what I get to. I see the old values here, and I can go ahead and put more. And again, if we go to the full meeting display, if we look at the participants, we'll see that piece that I just added there. Okay, so the highlights are the email format calls this out, and it either says specify the times that you're available, or it specifies confirm attendance, but those emails will sit in the mailbox for a while. So if you go to an old one, and it still says select best times, doesn't matter, you'll get the confirm display. This can be all done without logging in. If I go back to the other browser, I'm not logged in here, but what I can do is then I can go and log in, and then at this point, I mean, I'm getting the same thing here because I'm still in this point, but now I can go to the full meeting display and see what's in the meeting and see the participants. Hey, if I have a login, I'll do that. Also, if I'm logged in, I won't ever be prompted for the email address. But sorry, I'm getting distracted here. A little bit better layout of this, a little bit nicer for when you have a meeting, and this button works logged in or not logged in, and it doesn't get confused with the meeting display itself, which is completely separate. I think this is going to help people get this information back on meetings. That's all for today.